effect for chanting. Forward, progress, forward, up and rally.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this Scottish campaign. So, the year is 1711, and I am now within striking distance of the next province capital. As we can see, the AI has decided to split the forces all over the place. If they draw this together, they might actually have a force enough to at least match my now complete full stack of 40 units, which I have arrayed right here. But they haven't, and so I'll be able to crush them bit by bit as we move towards their capital. Last time around we also had a naval battle. I've now gone ahead and repaired that fleet and actually sent it over to the East Indies. It's going to take out the enemy fleet here. But I think though that might have been a mistake. I think a better use of the Navy would have actually gone up here, picked up this army under Finlay MacGregor, and then landed it on this side of the Mughals. Mostly just to stop the advance of the Mahathans. Ultimately, we're going to turn on our allies, the Mahathans, and claim this bit as well. So I don't really want them to advance any further here. And I'm pretty sure that it also would, actually, what it would really do, it would stop them advancing, but it was also deprive the Mughals of their only port, the trading port right here, which would strip them of quite a bit of cash, because they're getting 16,000 coming in through here. So quite a lot of money would be lost to the Mughal Empire, and make it a lot easier for me to crush them. Meanwhile, going back to the Americas, there hasn't been much going on here, but I did recruit a second ship, and I did take a look at what they had here. So they have a small navy controlling here, and they have a rather large army here, but I think I could take it. But I'm pretty sure that the ship that would land here would probably be sunk, because I don't have a fleet big enough to properly secure it. So if I want to get ahead of the Spaniards of capturing more of these islands, I would go for that. However, at the same time, I'm wondering if the continued pirate activity in the area is keeping the other powers here in check. And also, as we can see here, the French have almost completely now secured all of North America. Very few troops remain guarding around Boston, New England, and the troops that are guarding there are of very low quality. With that said though, what we need to do right now, Your Majesty, is to march on and capture this place. So they'll actually bring in some reinforcement, 1,800 men, and they have a starting force of 3,500 men. However, I bring a force of 8,000 men. So, what? I outnumber them about 3,000 men or so. Plus, I would probably wager that a lot of my troops are a lot better than theirs. And a lot of theirs is melee units. Anyways, let's go ahead and march on and take ourselves another province. We've had a similar battlefield like this before, where we basically start on either side of a hill. This time, less of the hill is actually even remotely usable. So it looks like the fighting's going to be here, and the enemy is going to find it quite hard for it, I imagine. I've put most of my troops here. So we got 1 brigade of Irish, followed by 1 brigade of the new superior Scottish Line Infantry. And then we've got the Highland Warriors coming back in that up. We also have the Pikes. And we have the Highland Warband. These guys carry some kind of pistol of some sort. I actually think what it looks like here is actually they throw axes. I thought they would be carrying pistols. All the cavalry is down on the left, and I put some troops here, but that was before I actually took a look at what was going on with the terrain here. The thing though is, would I pile on even more troops here? I don't think I could fit them, so... Oh, they actually start right up at the border. Usually the AI puts their troops quite a bit far back. That actually makes this more of a viable position for my troops. What I should do is I should make 2 spike... I was about to call it spike forts, but what I wanted to say is I want to, since there's a lot of cavalry there, I should put the pikemen into square right about there, and have the troops sort of form around that. Or the cavalry is already on the way, and there's no way you're going to be ready, so you need to form into formation right away. Right, form into square there. Also, I do have my cannon. It is within canister range, but I fear that I would shoot my own men if I would now order the troops to fire. Instead, we'll allow the new superior line infantry to fire at them. What I perhaps should do is switch a round shot and fire straight through this. Right, there's no point in you being in square any longer. Right, we didn't lose that many men, and the enemy's cavalry will successfully checked. They're not actually rushing forwards the way that I thought they would be. So I'm gonna go ahead and advance up this slope and take the fight to the enemy. I should really form this into one of these like formations, groupings. But I think that if you group units beyond 20, and not just all like more than 20 units in one group, like if you group say 15 and then 7 after, I think that actually also breaks it down or makes it crash. That's archers. Archers got good range. I would force my way up through here, but seeing as though they got archers ready to fire at me, perhaps it's better for my troops to advance here. Afghan hillmen. Looks like we're actually coming into a fight even before we get on top of the hill. So I'll order this entire formation to halt. Right, let's see if the Irish can clear the way against the Afghan hillmen. It's 2 units of them. Good starting volley. And we've got 3 more to go. Oh, here comes actually a cavalry unit. That's not good. Form into square. Light Pashtun cavalry. It's charging down the square. I could have perhaps order this unit to open fire, but I feel like we would probably end up shooting a lot of our own. Oh! What a way, what a turn this unit took. Not that it's going to work out for them very well. The cannons continue to fire that way. They're kind of leaving this part now. So all the units that were placed here should advance and take control of that hill. While the enemy is currently wasting its cavalry. Well, as you can see, the Irish is clearing the way for the army. The Afghan hillmen was sent away, or at least one unit to start off with. Let's see if we can't send the second one as well. And then the light cavalry of the Pashtuns is making another attempt at the line. However, at this point they've lost so much strength, and seeing the large formations ahead of them, they decide to fall back. Right, continuous fire towards the slaves. Slaves. Shilla slaves. They kind of look like Marhathans because they have the Marhathan color. Well, we've got some horse archers in the hills now. And the militia unit making their way towards the Irish. The Irish had kept the right side in reserve. But the enemy stops to fire right before they charged. Good type of tactic, I must say, as a Swede. However, sending a single unit in... Oh, did you go that way around? Well, that's great. Can you just shoot the slaves? The enemy holds on quite well. Or at least the cavalry does. However, as soon as I've ordered the front line to form into square, that's going to change. Oh, so we fired our cannons at that unit. Clearly nothing actually contacted with that. You're going to have to try and pull back a little bit. Too late. And we're going to charge here. Do I have a pike unit? Yes, I have loads of pikes here. Go ahead and slaughter them. You're just gonna shoot friendlies at this point. I'm not entirely sure we'll win that fight. Alright, back into line. I think the Irish have done enough in the front line. So I'm gonna order the second line up. Forward. James Graham's own is on the left, and let's see, the Irish Freedom Fighters is on the right. Oh, they switched just in time for the enemy to commit their troops to a bigger melee charge. Both units are kind of wavering here. Oh, it's because I'm firing cannons into it all. You know what? Try and peel off as best you can. Perhaps, let's see, the pike unit. Pike units should form into squares to deal with that. The Scots want to keep in the fight. We're all Scots, I remember. Let's go ahead and open fire as the 14th Infantry make their way away from the main melee here. Right, the units have fought off the enemy. I'm now gonna order a proper advance. We actually gain this stupid hill. Also, I should have probably sent in my cavalry earlier. Right, these guys are sent off, and this cavalry now suicides itself right into the squares, as the rest of the infantry now makes it towards the top of the hill. Enemy general shot down. Oh, he was the one charging in here. Potentially lost a lot of men there. Right, we've forced the enemy off there. What is left is there's a cannon unit all the way out here somewhere. I can see it on the map. Oh, there! It hasn't even entered the field for some reason. And then there's a unit under the sea. Nope. There. There's actually two units of archers hiding out here. Fabulous mustaches. Right. Well, at this point, it's fairly clear to say that I have won the battle. However, there are some remaining forces that need to be dealt with. They don't have a bunch of... oh yeah, there's Covenant Dragoons in among that, isn't there? Tell them to hold fire. Charge down those guys, and soon enough I'll be placing my artillery on top of that hill and destroying what's left of the enemy. Right. And here's victory. As a result of the battle, we deployed close to 9,000 men against 5,000 of the enemy. We lost 876, while the enemy lost 3,590. We remain at a force of 7,800, while they have around 1,800 men left. The battle was really annoying. I was finally able to get rid of the cannon, but I had literally 5 minutes, I think, to spare. So it went almost a total 1 hour of the battle, even though I won the battle close to, like, what, 20 minutes in or something? Something like that? Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at who killed what. So 2 Irish units end up in the top, and those are the freedom fighters and what is it? Owen's own. Both of those units did really well, and we'll be able to tell which one is which. 512, 389, then followed by Covenant Dragoon, and then more Irish infantry, superior Scottish infantry, and so on. Covenant Dragoons got 3 points, lost 4. That could be... well, we'll see, we'll see. The good thing, though, is that we conquered the province. So let's take a look here, if we can spot which one. James Graham's own, there we go. So he was the one that killed 500 then. And then the Freedom unit, the Freedom Fighters, where are they? They're up there. Irish Freedom Fighters, they were the ones who gained a slightly lower number then. And in terms of the Covenant Dragoons... Is this the Covenant Dragoons? Yes, it is. And it is the Sacred Lions who are 3, so they did the most there as well. They gained a picture of the Lances, though. We'll tear this military structure down. I'm not intending to build any military units here. We're going to go ahead and replenish the army. We've got cotton. Cotton is a pretty good trade commodity. At this point, actually outperforming tea. So we'll keep that. One thing that we will do, though, is build road. We'll build a better road here. Since we actually got allies down south, it would be pretty safe to actually start constructing this. But perhaps it's a little bit too early. With this conquered, though, the spy can move, and since I have one... Oh! I was wondering, because I haven't run into any other faction deploying 40 stacks. Well, here we got 2 of them. Potentially within striking distance of me, which I don't really like. But, yeah, we took that. Let's end turn. When we come back, I'm sure we'll have a naval battle. And I don't think I could fit a 40 versus 40 battle in this video. So we'll try and figure out something else out. I'm surprised they haven't tried to move through here. But now we've found their main force anyway. We've got 2 armies of 40 stacks. If I'm honest here, I was thinking like, this is going way too... Everything's... Besides the start, everything's gone relatively easy. And my invasion of India has gone, you know, really easy. I hold, you know, 4 territories before this. Now I hold 5. And we didn't... Where was the resistance? Well, now we found it. 80 units or so. Right here. Right. Let's go ahead and end turn and cross our fingers that the Mughals do not decide to attack us. One thing though, just before we go ahead and end turn, where are all the generals? Why aren't they recruiting any generals? Light infantry tactics. I wonder if that gives me any new units. Metal roads in the Bahamas, and a fleet has arrived. I put an admiral in charge of the fleet. So let's just take a look at what happened here. They actually split this force and combined a load of the forces that were here. I would definitely rather fight the enemy in one large battle than a lot of small ones.
On your Majesty's service.
So I'm not too happy with this right now. But also, one thing that I should say, or look at, what is going on with Europe. So the Prussians They've actually lost Königsberg to the Russians, and they've lost Western Prussia to the Polish, which are slightly resurgent. The most interesting thing, though, is Austria, which has been completely pushed out of their own home territories, and instead they hold. This is only the only original territory they hold. Otherwise, they've pushed into Poland, and they've also pushed into the Ottoman territory. They hold Athens, and they actually hold Constantinople, or Istanbul. I guess it's Constantinople now that the Austrians hold it. This, I believe, is actually... I was going to say it's a rebel army, but I'm not entirely sure. The army was moving during the rebels' turn, so I imagine it's a rebel army. So there's a lot of funky stuff going on here in sort of Eastern Europe. Crazy stuff indeed. Besides that, there's not much interesting going on there. Let's see, is Boston still alive? Yes, they're still alive. Perhaps they've been able to sign peace with the French. No, they're still at war. Poor bastards. Right, let's head then to the East Indies and then sail for the Mughal fleet. So the new ships have arrived, and we've got, I mean, now with this, I have the potential actually to seize a lot of this, even though spice trade is very low, but at least reducing. I think what it is, as you can see, the 13 colonies is trading the 4,752 in spices, and I imagine that's from a single trade node. So I think they are single-handedly ruining the price of spices. Anyways, let's go ahead and strike here and have ourselves a naval battle. This should be pathetically easy. I will send in my ships and trash this Indian force. Well, apparently I decided to attack them against the wind, which made the battle take a lot longer than what it should have taken. It ended up taking me about 15 minutes to dispatch all of these ships. Anyways, I would probably want to sink all of it. However, I'm going to take it all on. We're going to take it back to India. We're going to repair. Well, we're going to leave some ships here, but we're going to take most of it back to India to repair. And yeah, we're going to control the spice. And now I've been kind of hoping that, I wonder, since they just removed that, how does that affect the spice price? It affected it a bit. It now costs an additional 2 gold, or whatever the currency here is. The currency this is counted in. So it did affect it. However, the major effect is going to be when the 13 colonies goes out of business and their fleet gets destroyed, because then the price is going to increase quite a bit. Previously, I have not wanting them to get destroyed, but I kind of changed my mind now that I potentially stand to make quite a bit of money from their loss of monopoly, in a sense, on the spice. It'll increase the price and make spice trade actually somewhat profitable, which it currently isn't. I'm gonna send a few of these ships to go ahead and, that I know have... Is it full strength? There's the 13 colonies one. Perhaps I should attack it. They're on the way out anyways. Oh, they hold 2? Wait, do they hold 3? No, that's the Ottoman Empire. And then this is held by the Louisiana area. Ooh, okay. Right. I guess we'll keep these 2 ships to start with, and then the rest will be heading... No, not there. Back to India to repair. And that's going to be important to swoop in and take that then. The Ottomans also have high amount. Currently, Ottomans are a good trade partner, but I would like, I don't know, even with that, I wonder how can it be reduced that much? Normally spice is like the most valued commodity behind ivory, or in this case it's slaves. So, or these two are like neck and neck. So I wonder, like, how is it that it's fallen that much? There must be something else that I'm missing. Someone else is trading a lot. Right, building that up. This army would really need some more cannons. I think... Is it too early to end the episode right here? We're 3 turns away from this, what's it called? Royal Scottish Academy being built. Oh yeah, I never checked what actually we got from the light infantry tactics. Okay, so it just increased marksmanship for the units. Oh yeah, I did build out this. We now have different cannons, so the demi cannons should really be replaced by 18-pounder field battery. So I'm thinking an army should probably have at least 2 of these, and then 1 of the siege batteries. Although there are no forts in this mod, so why even bother with siege battery in that case? Potentially also because canister has been proven to be really deadly, so it could be good to try and figure out a way to use some lighter cannons as close support for the infantry that could just devastate the enemy quickly with some horse-drawn artillery. Now, I don't think we have horse-drawn artillery yet. Right. The thing is, I'm constantly thinking about that the price of spice is going to change. Perhaps it's not, and I should just go ahead and switch out my plantations for, I think cotton is the alternative that you can build. Actually, sugar. And the price difference in between sugar and spice is almost twice the money for... We get twice the money for the sugar compared to the spice. The question is, do you get as much? So you get 18 pounds of spice per turn for this, while the equivalent sugar plantation would give 18 loaves, so it gives basically the same. Eventually though, spice out, or sugar outperforms with 75 compared to 37 pounds for that. Perhaps I should spend more then to I do have a lot of sugar because of my islands. Let's go ahead and see. What is coffee? What is the alternative to coffee? Is also everything's sugar. Everything's sugar, apparently. Really though, the highest commodity right now is tobacco, and tobacco is really only kind of grown here, I believe. In this sort of area. Here's where the tobacco production can be made. And most of it anyways. I don't think we have tobacco on any of the islands. Right. You know what? I'm sort of I feel like I'm stalling right now. There's nothing really for me to do, and I don't want to get into a 40 stack battle, or I do want to get into it, but not right now. So you know what? I think we'll call it quits for this one. The last one was a bit long, so it might be good to have a little bit of a shorter one for this one. I'm gonna, in between episodes here, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna try and maneuver and set up so that I can get this army ready to have a 40 versus 40 battle, which I think everyone wants. So that's what we're looking for, and hopefully the AI will play ball and actually give that to us. Holy crap, I noticed that the total wealth of this region is awful. And they actually have a minus growth, 19. And it's all because of the government. What is going on with the Mughal government? They're all siphoning funds. No wonder they're losing against us. If the government is siphoning off funds to that degree, that in minus 18 points of wealth, their corruption is more, and devastation by armies is probably affecting this somewhat as well. There's nothing built in this province actually. It's just roads and enlightenment. That's what they gain the money from. None of the villages are built out properly. That's why. Anyways, I'm stalling. It's time to go ahead and end this. So, hopefully, this is the last time I keep talking about the spice price. And, yeah. I feel like there's something more, but clearly there isn't. So, as always, I will be saying, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.